And after back-to-back Big Ten titles, not to mention easily beating those Buckeyes for 2 straight years, make no mistake about it, the Michigan Wolverines are back. Contenders for a national title, but head coach Jim Harbaugh's looming NCAA discipline puts a cloud over the start of the season. Mark Coons brings us the report from Lucas Oil Stadium.
Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh reportedly facing a 4-game suspension. Today in Indianapolis, Harbaugh said there's nothing to be ashamed about, wishes he could lay it all out for you, but he could not comment upon those reports. Now, his players believe if he is suspended for 4 games, that'll only serve as extra motivation for the defending Big Ten champions.
You know, we have to continue to be the same team we want to be and embody that. So, you know, even if he's not going to be with us, he's definitely going to be with us in spirit, and we got to play for him, you know, like we play for him on any other game day.
You know, as a leader, you know, just rally my guys. Hey, if anything, this is going to make us go even harder. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe a little motivation, light a fire under us. So really just rally my troops, you know, get them going. Hey, we're going to do this for Coach Harbaugh if that is the case.
Blake Corum suffered a knee injury late in the regular season, which severely limited his playing time for the rest of the year. Now, he turned down an opportunity to head to the NFL. He returns along with Donovan Edwards, a so-called lightning and lightning combination, and Corum says he is completely healthy.
You know, I'm not worried at all. You know, I'm going into camp with the mindset of, you know, I'm fully healed. You know, if they want me to do a hidden drill, I'll do the hidden drill. You know, I'm me now. You know, it's no longer, you know, Blake has a bad knee. Like, my knee is fine. My knee is perfect. I'm just ready for some ball now. I mean, you could say a couple weeks ago, like, you know, that's when I realized, like, okay, my speed's coming back. And then I started feeling the burst. And then my cutting ability, like, you know, there was definitely a point in time where, like, okay, I like where this is heading. You know, I see the hard work paying off. You know, the knee's feeling great, the body's feeling good. So they're definitely, a couple weeks ago, I would say that really kicked in. I'm like, okay, this is nice.
And it's a great challenge to have is the amount of playmakers that we have on offense at the skill positions, and really just dictate that we have got to get the ball to Blake so many times a game. We got to get it to Donovan. That pretty much that same amount that Blake does.
Wolverines have changed the outside perception of the program, and as they go for a 3rd straight outright Big Ten title, something the program has never done, Team 144 is ready for the challenge.
Last year's success and, you know, the past couple of years' success isn't going to dictate our success this year. That's going to be on us, and we have that responsibility to, you know, write that for ourselves and write our own destiny. So, you know, we have to work on that as Team 144, and that's why we focus on moving forward, you know, every day rather than looking at the past.
I think the best way is to not even read into it, not pay attention to it. Like, we appreciate what the media does. We appreciate, you know, the good things you say. We appreciate the bad thing the media says. It's all motivation at the end of the day.
The way I view it, right, and, you know, I hold my teammates, I hold myself, and the coaches hold us to a high standard, right? And part of me coming back was, I said, unfinished business. You know, that was my thing, unfinished business, on the field, off the field, you know, in general. But we have a team that is very special right now. You know, a lot of guys come back. You know, JJ has another year under his belt. You know, we've had enough dreaming. We've had enough talk about the national championship. And, you know, now it's just day to day. You know, we got to beat ECU first. You know what I'm saying? We can't think too far ahead. You know, be where our feet are. You know, we have to take care of the regular schedule and beat our rivals. And then, you know, if we get there, we just got to get over the hump.
We are joined now by Isaiah Hull from WolverinesWire.com. And Isaiah, it is certainly a new world for the Michigan Wolverines, the undisputed favorites heading into this season.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than just playing off the idea that they have that potential, right? Because I think back to 2019, going to the one in Chicago, when that was the last time that they were voted as the media favorite by the Cleveland.com poll. It didn't turn out to go quite as well as they had hoped that year. This year it's a bit different, obviously coming off of 2 back-to-back. Last year they weren't even considered the favorite. Ohio State was still getting all of that love. So there's certainly a swagger, but also weirdly a humility that comes with that. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was obviously in a pretty good mood, except for when he was being asked about NCAA sanctions. But otherwise, really good mood from him and the players, and they know what it takes to be able to win the Big Ten, and they're pretty confident that they can do it again.
Michigan's defense, Chris Jenkins said, we're going to be a no-name defense again this year. We saw names emerge last year from that defense. Who's going to emerge this year?
Well, Jenkins is one of them, right? He's already being predicted as potential first-round NFL draft pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sanders still take a big leap in terms of that. I mean, keep in mind, last year was his first year as a starter on the defensive side of the ball. Junior Colson's been poised to break out a little bit more, and he's been thought of as one of the best linebackers. The name that I'm looking at as being a guy that could really go from nothing to being a household name is Braden McGregor.
On Wednesday, we heard Ryan Day say it's worth discussing moving the game. Jim Harbaugh said he had no real opinion on that matter.
Yeah, I was wondering what we were going to get from Jim, if he was going to be a little bit more traditionalist as a guy who came up, watching Michigan football, watching Ohio State be that last game of the season for his entire life. I didn't know if he was going to go that route, if he was going to kind of demur, or if he was going to embrace. So I get the, obviously got the impression that he didn't really touch it, but he also kind of said, let's take it back. I mean, his players were saying we'll play that game any time of the week. I think that's probably where his mind is, but I also don't think that he wanted to necessarily co-opt what Ryan Day was saying, because I'm sure he saw a lot of the blowback. And I don't think anyone really wants to be the one that go out there and mess with tradition in this rivalry. So I'm not surprised he demurred, but certainly there was the possibility that he could have and really made a stand and really just made it even heighten the rivalry more by actually disagreeing.
Breaking down Michigan football, one of our great traditions with Isaiah Hull. You can read all of his stuff on WolverinesWire.com. This full conversation can be found on BCSNNation.com as well. Isaiah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Wolverines set to open against East Carolina on September 2nd. In the coming days and weeks, we'll find out if Jim Harbaugh will be on the sidelines for the Maize and Blue for that game or not. In Indianapolis, Mark Kuntz, BCSN.